Today, there are reports coming out that XRP is more likely to get an ETF approval ahead of both Solana, which is the most popular blockchain out there next to Ethereum, and Dogecoin, which is the most popular meme coin out there. Now, you might hear what I just said about Solana and say, well, XRP is actually more popular. That debate certainly could be in the air, but if you do look at total value locked up in DeFi, you'll see that Solana has a lot of activity and XRP has a lot of promise for the future. But regardless of who's the top blockchain or not, institutions seem to right now perhaps have the most interest in XRP. I say this because a lot of people are paying attention to XRP. There was a wave of Solana, certainly a wave of Dogecoin in the past, and I think that both those ETFs are going to be approved. But I don't think that it's far-fetched to believe that the XRP ETF could be coming before these other two. Certainly, I see all three getting approved in the year 2025 because these ETF applications have already been submitted to the SEC, and now there is kind of a deadline that is going to be within the year 2025. But XRP could be first. And on this news, we have analysts coming out talking about those $10 and $20 targets for XRP. So let's take a look at the XRP token today, what's going on with the price action, and exactly what we need to know next for this crypto market and the XRP price. Stick around to the end because I do have one very interesting thing to show you that I'm going to mention at the end. So stick around to the end here, guys. Welcome back to the Crypto Report. Tap the like button, subscribe to the channel for more content. Let's get into this. Looking at what we've got going on today, Bitcoin is playing a funny game of emotions for all the crypto traders out there. 83 to 85 and back down to 83 again, in limbo of whether or not we're going to fall down to lower levels or if we are going to have some kind of recovery. You know, I was talking to my partner on this channel, Maxi, earlier this morning, and we're both in agreement. You know, it's shocking how much positive news is coming out about crypto, but yet we're just not seeing the crypto market come back yet. You know, we've got all these good things, but we're just not seeing it come back yet. And I think it all boils back down to the macroeconomic picture, inflation, and the interest rate, which we've just been hammering over and over again as is one of the main beliefs for me that, you know, this is what's holding us up. During all this uncertainty, XRP has been possibly the strongest altcoin, getting up to 350 or so, still sitting around $2 is very strong, guys. Now, today, a couple stories to share with you. Let's start with this one. Data from Kaiko Indices shows that XRP and Solana have the deepest 1% market depth on vetted exchanges, but XRP surging past Solana since 2024, doubling Cardano's liquidity, which is very, very shocking. XRP and Solana are the leading candidates for U.S. spot ETF approval due to the high liquidity that these coins have. Both are very, very popular. And like I said, you know, Solana has a lot more total value locked up in its DeFi ecosystem, but XRP is less so focused on the DeFi side of things, more so focused on getting in the hands of banks and cross-border payments on a global scale. A totally different picture than this kind of Solana casino-like thing going on where Solana is a fast blockchain. It's the top Ethereum competitor for DeFi and applications on these decentralized networks, while XRP is more of like the institutional adoption coin. XRP's U.S. market share has increased since this 2021 lawsuit has been ongoing with the SEC, and Solana's has actually declined. And when they say market share, you know, we talk about Bitcoin dominance a lot. XRP's dominance in the market has climbed. It was at one point a lower market cap than Solana, but XRP is now a higher market cap than Solana. And recently there was a launch of this XRP ETF by, I don't know how to say the name of this, Tectonic. I don't know how to say that. But it's not a spot ETF. What we're really waiting on is this spot ETF that is probably going to come at some point here in 2025. People are talking about this exchange traded product. You know, it had 5 million volumes on its debut, but imagine what happens with these spot ETFs. I want you guys to remember the spot ETF for Bitcoin is likely, alongside the potential election of this current president, who was a pro-crypto president. These two catalysts, the Bitcoin ETF and the election of this president, are probably the two catalysts that drove up prices in crypto the most. If a spot ETF comes out for XRP, I believe it would be a catalyst to drive the price of XRP higher. Officially, the SEC has acknowledged several XRP spot ETF applications, and Grayscale is facing filing was also facing a critical May 22nd deadline. So I think Grayscale was the first one to come out with this ETF application. May 22nd is the deadline for the SEC to either approve or deny the XRP ETF, and I think that they will likely approve it again. Paul Atkins, the new head of the SEC, is imminently taking control of the agency, if not already officially. I know he was actually approved by the Senate, but to actually take his role at the seat of the table is imminent. If not, it might have just occurred. So this would be the catalyst to kind of get the SEC to, get off their hands and start moving on this and getting it approved. I think that it's coming. What we've also got is, XRP price analysts projecting $10 next, an optimistic target of $20. These are price levels that I've been talking about. I'm not the only one. There are indicators that will show you, exactly where we can go. $2 is support. I've been talking about $2. If $2 in election, VWAP, stay as support, this chart looks instructive. If we can hold at $2, we can get a nice bounce for XRP. We need Bitcoin to hold too, though, guys, because if Bitcoin does not hold the 80-something thousand price level, when we dip down to 71K, XRP could easily slip back down below $2. But I do remain bullish on XRP. Will the XRP price hit $20 in 2025? They kind of talk about this, and the optimistic target is between $15 and $20. I think a realistic one could be $10. We could go higher. I've laid out evidence to say, hey, potentially we could go to even higher, maybe even $20. In this cycle, it does get difficult, but man, am I bullish on XRP and feeling pretty good about the future of this project, more so than ever before. And I'm not the only one, and I want to show you this. This is the thing I wanted you guys to stick around to the end of the video for. We're looking at the market cap of, and when you just search this tool, it's a really cool tool where you can basically say, what if, let's say Dogecoin took the market cap of Ethereum, or what if the price of Ethereum took the market cap of Bitcoin? And it's a tool that a lot of people like to use. When you just find this tool, what is the very first thing that pops up in these other little columns underneath the main link to the website? I want you guys to look at this. XRP to Ethereum, XRP to Bitcoin. These are the two top questions that people are asking this market cap of tool. In other words, more so than any other cryptocurrency, right now people are more curious what the price of XRP would be if it flipped Ethereum and Bitcoin. Now, we've seen things like this with Pepe flipping Dogecoin when Pepe was very exciting. But right now, XRP is the most exciting coin according to this tool. And really on the internet, if you look at YouTube, the highest view videos, not necessarily on this channel, are XRP videos. If you look at social media, you're going to see one of the coins that more people are talking about, more so than ever before, is XRP. Your friend, your uncle, your cousin, your barber, more interested in XRP than ever before. The guy in my golf league, an older fella, very nice guy, asked me, hey, I got to talk to you about this XRP token. What do you think? And I think it's bullish. I give warnings about the $2 price level. I give warnings about general Bitcoin. I think that anything under $2 is a good deal for XRP, and you're certainly buying it at a discount now rather than buying it as its $3.50 price. You're at a significant discount. Now, I've been talking about XRP having the possibility of flipping Ethereum, and I'm not the only one that's thinking about it clearly. If XRP was to flip the all-time high of Ethereum, they get a nice $10 XRP. It's possible, guys. In fact, I think it's logical at some point in the future that we're going to see XRP get this big if, in fact, it does get the institutional adoption that is basically promised for the reason of it being in existence. That's how I feel about it. I think XRP is a great coin to trade as well. If you want to trade some of the volatility on XRP, you could sign up for Blowfin. It's my favorite trading platform. You could do spot trades. You could do leverage trades here. really amazing time for volatility and quick little in and out trades. If you guys want to sign up and use our link, you can check it out in the description down below. When you sign up using our link, you get up to a $5,000 deposit bonus if you want to give that a look yourself. That's all I have in this one, guys. Please remember, nothing I say here is financial advice. I love cryptocurrency. I'm very bullish on XRP, and I think this $10 to $20 thing is possible for XRP, especially on the back of the ETF approval, which May 22nd looks like the Grayscale ETF is either going to be approved or denied and actually launched or not, and I think it will be, especially with this new head of the SEC. That's all I got in this one, guys. I'm Crypto Kip. This is the Crypto Report. Look out for that $2 price level. If we get any discounts below, what a great buying opportunity it would be. Until next time, DCA, HODL, see you in the next one. 2 videos here if you want to check them out. Peace, guys.